go to that story having to do with the transition process, which has been ongoing in the last few days. And as you would recall, the leadership by Mr. number of concerns. Key amongst the concerns would be the fact that they are yet to receive the handing over notes from key state institutions like the Finance Ministry, the Local Government Ministry, the Ministry of Interior. None of this particular three have given their handing over notes. So if you bring in, and I'm quoting Mr. Osafumafoye, if you bring in, for instance, the Ministry of Chieftaincy, yes, it is a ministry, but then it does not play a critical role with regard to how the country can be run effectively. All of them are important, but of course, we need to pay particular attention to some of them as regard how the country can be run. We have been joined on the line by Professor Ransford Jampo. He is a senior political science lecturer at the University of Ghana and also a member of the team that drafted the policy with regard to the transition bill, a fellow at the IEA as well. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon.
To start with, are you concerned as a team that put the bill together, looking at these concerns that are being raised by the incoming administration?
Oh, please, if you could just help me with the concerns that are being raised. I want to respond, with specificity. So, what exactly?
Right, with regard to the fact that 3 days of meeting and they are yet to receive handing over notes from key state institutions like the Finance Ministry, did the process of putting the bill together consider the fact that maybe there could be delays, so the time to start putting your handing over notes together across the ministries should probably be much earlier?
It is unfortunate. If you read the Act, as we prepared it, we had anticipated challenges like this, and so the Act itself is being breached. Unfortunately, the Act says 30 days to election, handing over notes from the various government ministries, departments, and agencies, and even from the presidency and vice presidency, should have been submitted to the office of the Administrator General 30 days before the December election. And so if up till now these have not been prepared and submitted, then I think it is just in breach. They are just breaching the Act has.
So it is clearly stated in the bill that 30 days.
The Administrator General must take custody of such handing over notes 30 days before the December 7 election. And so if it's not been done, it means it's been breached, and it's regrettable and unfortunate. But my own take on this is that as we move forward as a nation, let's take note that this is the first time the Transition Act is really being put to test. This is the first time it is really being implemented. It was implemented somehow in 2012, but that was more of an internal transition, and so we couldn't see some of these challenges. Right. But as we seek to implement it now to regulate the peaceful transfer of power, some of these challenges may be unearthed. And my own take on this particular incident of delayed in the writing of handing over notes is that in future, maybe we may have to the incoming president, together with his Attorney General, may have to look at this critically, because to be human and to be fair, nobody goes into election knowing that he's going to be defeated, and so he will prepare handing over notes. And so maybe we may want to say that in future, after the declaration of results and precedent, then there should be a period of time, let's say 1 month, for handing over notes to be prepared, so that you want to say something?
Doc, there are some other key state speakers or persons who, hold different positions, who have also stated that at least, irrespective of whether we are going to have a continuing government or an incoming government, handing over notes should be prepared in good time. So it means that someone has not done their work right.
It is not a view of anybody. That is what the law itself says. It is not a view of anybody. That is what the law itself says. But I'm saying that, given that nobody goes into election hoping to lose, and then the human factor, involved in all these things. As we try to amend the Act to deal with exigencies of the time and the challenges we are facing now, we may also want to put in place some arrangement that will ensure that these handing over notes would have to be written maybe after the declaration of results regarding whoever won the election, so that people may be compelled to do so. But for now, the Act has not been amended, and it is saying that 30 days to election, handing over notes should have been prepared. And if it's not been prepared, it means the law has been breached.
Right. Prof, my last two questions to you would be the fact that, one, they are saying that the current administration seemed to be confirming the appointment of certain persons, now quickly recruiting people into key positions. Did the transition bill have anything to say about this, and or did it mention that between the period of the transition, no such key confirmations and appointments into offices or into the government sector especially should be undertaken?
Well, I'm not. I thought yesterday I heard some of the officials of the outgoing administration saying that this wasn't true, and I am not in the position to authenticate this allegation. So, but I only hope it's not true. But if it is true, then it frustrates or undermines the spirit of the Transition Act. The Act itself did not have explicit provision on, against recruitment and award of contracts, even when, after power has been, election has been held and then arena declared. But the Act itself talks about transparency. And because it talks about transparency, that's why it says that 1 month to election, there should have been handing over notes. Why do you need a handing over notes? To be clear, to ensure institutional clarity and to promote transparency regarding how things have been done. And so you cannot be receiving, handing over notes to the incoming administration whilst at the same time doing certain things behind the back or at the blind side of the incoming administration. That undermines the spirit of transparency.
All right.
And so in amending the Act itself, some of these things may also have to be taken into consideration. That immediately we declare arena of an election, we are not saying that government should grind to a halt. Government should go on. But even if some of these things will have to be done, they do not have to occur at the blind side of the transition.
Of the coming government. All right. Professor Gyampo, we are grateful for your time. Thank you very much for speaking with us. Professor Ransford Gyampo is a senior political science lecturer at the University of Ghana and then also a member of the team that put together the transition bill, and he is a fellow at the IEA.